I know, right? I'm just so silly, but it's who I am. Welcome back. My name is Kyla P. Barnes. I am your financial chef and coach. Let me just make sure this is centered. Tell me if this video is not centered. I wanted to cover the headlines that I'm seeing today. I also wanted to cover holiday shopping. This here is a placard I got from the dollar store. Can you see that? Is it lined up? Is my lined up good? It says simplify your life. I got this maybe about 2-3 years ago, but this is paramount. This is what I try to do as your financial chef and coach at Jean Glaze Art and Financial. I'm trying to create an environment in which you will be able to dodge pitfalls. You'll be able to see trends. You'll be able to invest in things early, and you'll also be able to understand what type of climate that we're in. This is going to be less jargon related versus my other videos because this is really just me to you, you to me. So let's talk about headlines. Today's CPI came out better than expected. It came in at 0.3 versus 0.6, which the market was expected. That's why the market opened up 800 points positive. It's currently up 716 points at this current time. Yesterday, the market was down. What does this mean to you? This means that if you haven't already established a position, this may not necessarily be the time to do so. It also means if you want to get into a position, go into it slowly. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean you need to put all that money on the table. If there's a stock that you have been monitoring, you've been researching it, and you intimately know how that company performs, either because you're a consumer or you read all the financial data out there, or maybe even you know something that we don't know. That is a trade in which I think you should leg into. So what I mean by that is if it's really expensive, like over $100, maybe consider buying maybe 10 shares at a time. If it's something under $100, like around $40 or $50, consider maybe 10 or 15 trades, whatever your budget is comfortable with to establish that position, but not going into it full Monty. Does that make sense? Now we're going to cover the hot water. So Sam Bankman-Friedman is in hot water. I have been tracking stories related to him. He is one of the entrepreneurs and investors in cryptocurrency. He made his billions related to cryptocurrency, and now all of that is under pressure. There was a firm that was going to buy him out. It was called Binance, and at this current time, Binance has backed out. So this firm that Sam has, the Sam Bankman-Friedman firm, is called FTX, I believe. And FTX is now under hot water. I also heard or read that they are under investigation as well. Why am I mentioning this? I am mentioning this because while Bitcoin is not my trade, some other investors and clients like Bitcoin. And I would tell you to just use a high amount of caution related to that. Wall Street has coined Bitcoin to be in a Bitcoin crypto winter. I don't know about you, but where I live, winter's only 3 months. And Bitcoin has been in a winter, so-called, for the whole year. So I'm going to say that's not a winter. I'm going to say that is downhill skiing. So if you are an investor that's in cryptocurrency, I would strongly suggest that you monitor your position. If you need an exit strategy, talk with a financial advisor. You can talk with me as well. My website is there on the screen, www.onegingles.com. But Bitcoin continuously remains to be a high topic of concern. Why? Because it was $1 billion firm. You know, anytime something happens in the space of equities or finance or industrials or any of the 11 sectors out there, and it has enough float, it can impact other things. So that's why this is top of the mind. Is it Lehman Brothers? Is it Bear Stearns? I don't necessarily think so, because Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns was a different system. Yes, it's still in the same industry, but it was a different system. You know, they were invested more so in the establishment of the United States. They also had a large amount of firms. They were intricately embedded in the fixed income industry, as well as in the equities market, the stock market, not cryptocurrency, and then real estate as well. They also had other firms that were attached to subsidiaries that when they were under pressure for liquidity, all those firms, all those people suffered. So it's not to make less of what is happening with Sam and his FTX firm, but it is to say that this is something of high notice. So that's why I want to cover it this morning. Last topic I'll cover, let me take some more tea. That's a pretty good boat too, MSC. Last topic I'll cover is the holidays. So the holidays are going to be one where at this current time in the business cycle, at this current time in our life, when you go to the store, it's going to be higher. So I am here to hopefully caution you with a few things. One, spices are going to be higher this season. So you can expect that black pepper, bay leaves, paprika, smoked paprika, some wood chips like pecan, mesquite, apple, and cherry are going to be much higher this year because they're in a short supply. Also, TVs, some other electronics, iPads, other electronic peripherals, including jewelry, is going to be higher this year. If the jewelry has been out a previous season, along with if the electronics came out in the previous season, those are going to be somewhat cheaper. But on the whole, electronics and jewelry and some other items related to like toys, kids' toys that are imported into the country are going to be higher. I'm telling you this to just tell you to build that list right now. Know who you're going to shop for, how much you want to spend on that person. Even go out there to these websites and put all the items that you want to buy into a cart. You know, like you can add something to the cart and it'll add it electronically. And that'll tell you how much you're looking to spend. Sometimes there may be better discounts online versus going into the store. Or you may be able to get an item now that's in the warehouse that by the time you go to the store, it's going to be out of stock. So that's a point that I really want you to run with, utilize it. The other thing is I want you to remember that this year proteins are going to be higher related to dinners, Christmas, and Thanksgiving. Proteins being meat proteins like turkey, pork, beef, and chicken. You may want to just create your menu now to save you money for this upcoming dinner. So if you're looking to have a variety of different meats, just know that you're going to be paying more per pound for those meats, and maybe choosing something in a smaller portion, like maybe turkey breast, or maybe even choosing like a leg of lamb instead of a rack of lamb, or maybe even choosing like pot roast versus like something larger or grander that you would have on the table. The turkey itself is higher this year as well. So that is going to be something that if you want to have a large turkey, now is going to be the time to buy it. The sales have already been announced. So I don't think things are going to get cheaper as we get closer. But that's only just my observation. The other thing is when you are shopping for an individual, instead of buying like a bunch of stuff for people, consider reducing that list and getting something that's really thoughtful, getting something that they really want, as well as maybe even just utilizing the gift of time. You know, the gift of time is something that matters to everybody who is a particular fan or advocate of you. So when you give your time, you are saying that you love that person and also that they're worth it. So consider that if you're not able to give what you'd like to give this particular season, just consider that time is a precious commodity that we can never replace. So what you give people and the memories you make actually are longer lasting stains on who they are and work to what they're dealing with versus a gift that you could buy. One other point. The other point that I wanted to mention is that if you're a person who usually gets these big trees put in your house, trees are going to have a higher cost this year. If you're a person who buys the trees recurrently, consider getting a smaller tree or even getting a tabletop tree. And the benefit of a tabletop tree, and this is just what I do, is that you're able to put the gifts on the table. So like, let's just say you have an island or a table. Instead of you having a tree on the floor that maybe has a width of like 5 feet or maybe even 7 feet. Instead, you can get a tabletop tree that has a width of maybe 3 to 4 feet. You can slide some gifts near it. You can slide some gifts around it. You can put a few gifts underneath it like that. But it looks like it's more than what it isn't, but it also still gives the vibe that yes, there's Christmas lights, yes, there's still a tree, yes, there's still presents, and the family can gather around the table. So that is something I think is a really good holiday hack because it allows for you to book in that factor of time. And time is exceptionally precious. If you've lost anyone in the last 3 years, you know that time is exceptionally precious. So I'm not going to linger on that very long, but these are some of my tips. These are some of my things that I do that I think will help you reduce your money for this particular season. That's all I had for you. Again, my goal here, per the placard, is to simplify your life. And hopefully I've done that. I am your financial chef and coach. My name is Kyla P. Barnes with Jean Glaze Art of Financial. And hopefully I've saved you some money. If not money, definitely time. We'll talk again soon.